Get rid of methane gas. Methane is highly explosive, lighter than air, accumulates up at the top. Carry a pocket full of rags, a stick, light him a rag, shove it in the top. That's where he got the name Fireballs. Not one of them had an eyebrow on their face. They all got burnt. A lot of them got killed if it was wrong mixture. Had a bad job, really. Now, when I started the mines in 1970, checked for methane, we used these flame safety lights. They've been using them for several years. This has vents around the top. Just ease it up real slow. If you have methane present, you'll get a blue cap on this flame. So as you see that, you got to ease her down. Because if you pull it down fast, like I did, it pulls too much methane in there and it explodes in your hand. It's not a good feeling. Blew the gauzes off the top of this globe, plus put a big dent in that. Had to replace all that. Now, if you pull it down too fast and don't have methane, it'll put your flame out. So either way, you got to ease it down. When I wasn't checking methane, I didn't want to walk around this in my hand all the time, so I'd put it in a belt loop. That way, I am always checking for oxygen deficiency, black damp. It's heavier than air. This will form in abandoned, worked out areas of your coal mine. Rotten wood, decaying timbers use up all your oxygen. It's heavier than air, it'll seep out close to the ground. If my light goes out, raise it up here and light it, put it back down there and it flickers and goes out again, I know I have black damp. You got to get more ventilation coming through here to clear it out. Because if you don't, it will kill you. The old days, check for black damp, they'd carry little critters in cages with them, different type birds. Canaries was their favorite. 2 reasons. They're a small bird and they got real small lungs. But the most important thing, that little girl canary, get her a little boyfriend canary, you put him in this cage, when you separate them, she cries her eyes out for him. Hollers all the time. If he's in the other room, he's doing the same thing, crying for her. Put them back in this cage, you instantly shut up. They're mates for life. That's why the miners like them. Take them underground, set them on the ground behind them, be up in there working 100 foot, that bird screaming every breath. Now, if that bird was lucky enough to make it through the day, take it home, the other one's still screaming, put them in the cage, you both just shut up instantly. Now, if that miner didn't hear that bird and he crawled back, check on it, and it flopped over like this one, just saved his life, see? Had a little girl in here a week or so ago, second time this happened to me. Tender, hardest little girl you ever seen, she started crying over at Canary. The first one cried the whole tour. When we got outside going around that gift shop, she was still crying. Her mother said it saved the miner's life. She didn't care. Worried about the canary. So I had to tell this one a little fib. I said they took that little canary and gave it mouth to beak and revived it. Well, she quit crying, I'll tell you that. Okay, some of the early lights they used in the mines, candles and lanterns. That wasn't very good, so they went to this teapot. Got a little spout on it with a wick on it. Carry a can of lamp oil, kerosene, bacon grease, lard, anything they could bring in here to fill this up with. Light that thing, stick it on their hat. This would burn for about an hour. Very poor visibility. So to improve on that, they went to the carbide lights. That's the big improvement in lighting. This has calcium carbide chips in the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit to this, make sure it works. You have water in the top here. When you open this valve, this water hits the carbide. That makes it acetylene gas, just like your oxygen acetylene torches, same thing. Educated there too. You move your hand in a hurry or it gets hot. I'm going to show y'all their working conditions.
Wow.
Now that's the big improvement in lighting. Could you imagine working 12 hours a day? It's unbelievable, ain't it? The big improvement this, it would burn for 3 hours. Can you cover their lights up?
Yes, I
If
can.
you don't care now. I'm gonna show y'all total darkness if you don't care. Is everybody okay with that?
Fine. Good.
Got in trouble on that too. About 3 or 4 years ago, a guy in the back, he didn't hear me. By the time I shut this off, he called me names no man should be saying in here. So I make sure everybody hears me. All right, here we go. Just a second or two. No matter how long you're in here, it's always darker in a dungeon. The little light at the tunnel out on the end, you can see that, but you get the idea, your eyes will never focus. Here was our working condition, had a light on our head, see, we didn't have all these lights through the mines. Okay, this seam of coal here is a bituminous coal, good quality coal to generate electricity with. It's almost unheard of in this country now, but hey, we got the best coal here in the world.
Yeah.
They're mining it, putting in new mines, can't get people to work, paying these trainees $25, $28 an hour just to start. Shipping all their coal just about overseas. Building power plants over there in Japan and India and these places. Doing away with their nuclear. At least it's keeping some of the people with jobs anyway. All right, this seam of coal is called the Sewell seam. You can find this in Virginia and West Virginia. Coal height here is around 24 inches high, the rest of that's rock. Over here, the coal height, you can see the black over there runs 40-some inches. This right here in front of us is called a breakthrough, goes from this roadway to that one. That was mined over 120 years ago. That's where the Phillips family actually mined it here. About 6 foot wide. If they cut it wider than that in those days, timbers wouldn't hold their top, get too much weight on it unless you had sandstone top. If you notice over there on top of the coal, they mined about a foot of rock. They gave them about this much height. That tells me they used ponies or donkeys to pull cars similar to this into all the mines. If they'd used a mule or a horse, more rocks, it wasn't feasible. Phillips family mined rock and coal together, hauled it outside and separated. If you work for a coal company, you mine nothing but clean coal. You don't mine any rock. They take it down on an idle shift or a Saturday. Working for the coal company, you had to load 6 cars, similar to this one. Every lump of coal you could get on that car, maximum loaded. They called it a ton. Paid them 20 cents. It was a metric ton. They cheated them out 300 or 400 pounds every car. Companies knew it, but the miners didn't. Now, if this car was not maximum loaded, they paid them 0. Want to keep them in debt. To be maximum loaded, they had a board. When they cleared the drift mouth, drop that board down. If it didn't touch a lump of coal, they paid them 0. Had to be maximum loaded. Now, in the old days, to get paid, you had a little round tag like this one, had a number on it, matches their name, see. Start with, they just hang it on the side of the car. Company had a man outside checking those cars. He had buddies shipping out cars half loaded with a lot of rock in them. He'd switch tags, cheat that man. He couldn't afford to be cheated no more than he was. So he nailed his tag to a board and put an empty car and covered it up with coal. That way he couldn't cheat. Any of y'all ever hear of Toby Mac?
Yes, absolutely.
Really? Seriously?
Oh, yeah. The singer?
You heard that last song when you got out to Promised Land? Have you seen that one,
No, not
Promised
yet.
Land? Oh, boy, you're missing something. You seen it? You seen the video? You heard the song?
I haven't. I know who Toby
Well,
Mac
you better be listening to that one. He come here and filmed that. It's about his grandfather who was over in Wyoming County next time, who was a coal miner. He paid me $50 to be in that video.
Oh.
Carry flame safety life back in this mine's had it in my hand, 3 or 4 of us walking. If you look real quick, you'll see me for 1 second, I believe. $50. Took him over 19 hours to film about a 2-minute video. It was unreal. If he'd have paid me $50 a second for that 19 hours, I wouldn't be here today. Hey, he was a wonderful guy, truly he was. You'd never know he had a nickel. You'd think he just a common man. That's just the way he was. He had a bus longer than a football field. I don't know how they got it in out there, but hey, he didn't act like it though. Truly, truly, great guy. Y'all ready to go look at something else?
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather ride or listen to me talk? Ride, I know. All right, let's go look at something else.